Hey, welcome back. I'm Kelly with Signature Solar, and today we're talking about something every solar install needs: a strong, reliable racking system. When you invest in solar, you want it to last for decades, and that starts with choosing the right mounting system. Your rails and attachments are what keep your panels secure through high winds, heavy snow, and years of exposure to the elements. That's why today we're installing the IronRidge XR100 Rail System, built for strength, durability, and fewer roof penetrations, which means a cleaner, faster installation. And at the core of that install is the Halo Ultra Grip, or HUG, a roof attachment that gives you a secure, watertight connection without having to lift shingles or wait for warm weather for sealant to set. And here's the best part. IronRidge stands behind their system with a 25-year warranty. So you're not just installing a racking system that works today, but one that's built to last. Let's get started. Before we begin, safety comes first. If you're working on a standard roof installation, make sure to follow all OSHA safety requirements, including proper fall protection and ladder safety. Since this demonstration is on a non-residential solar panel setup on a 4-foot display, I won't be climbing up on it, but if you're on a real job site, make sure you have the proper safety gear and follow local regulations. For this install, here's what we'll need: a tape measure for precise spacing, a chalk line and chalk to mark attachment points, a drill with a 5/16 and 7/16 inch socket to secure mounts and rails, a torque wrench to tighten everything to spec, and of course, personal protective equipment, PPE, safety glasses, gloves, and a hard hat if working on site. Now for the real stars of the show: the IronRidge XR100 rails, our Halo Ultra Grip or HUG mounts, the universal mid clamp or UFO clamps that secure the panels, and the universal end fastening objects or EFO end clamps that finish off the edges. We're also going to be showing you the bonded rail splice called the Boss, which is used to connect sections of rail together, and a grounding lug to make sure everything is properly grounded. And of course, we'll be wrapping it all up with some end caps to keep things looking clean. With our safety and tools covered, let's mark out our array. Before we start installing, we need to figure out where our array is going and how to properly mark our mount locations. We'll begin by measuring the width of our panels and multiplying that by the number of panels in each row. Then we add 3/8 inch between each panel for the mid clamps. This gives us the total width of the array, allowing us to adjust for roof obstructions before installation. We'll do the same for the number of rows, making sure everything fits as planned. Whether you're laying out an array from scratch or double-checking a project plan, this step ensures proper spacing before we start drilling into anything. Now, while you can calculate your own array layout, you can also generate a detailed project plan using the design tools on ironridge.com. Just create a free account for access to automated span calculations, engineering reports, and training courses to ensure your system meets the necessary specifications for your area. If you want to be extra precise or need a stamped plan for permitting, this is a great resource. You can also contact our design team here at Signature Solar, who have all been trained on the design tools as well and can also help you generate a plan and order specific pieces for your site. Now that we've established the layout of our array, we need to figure out where the mounts should be placed along the roof. First, every solar panel has a manufacturer recommended mounting zone. This is the area designed to handle the weight and the stress of the system. The easiest way to find this is by checking the panel's installation manual. Once we have that measurement, we need to see where it falls on the roof. The goal is to place the mounts within this zone while staying in a single shingle course for a watertight seal. To do this, we'll snap a chalk line exactly 2 inches below the upslope drip edge of the shingle. This ensures our mounts are positioned correctly within the panel's mounting zone while keeping everything structurally secure and waterproof. With the horizontal line in place, we now need to determine how far apart the mounts will be placed vertically, which is where rafter spacing comes in. Now that we have our mount line marked, we need to find the rafter locations since these determine how far apart our mounts will be vertically, also known as the span. There are a few ways to locate rafters. A stud finder can be used, but it's not always reliable on roofs. The hammer echo method, tapping along the roof and listening for the difference between solid rafters and hollow spaces, is one of the more reliable methods with experience. Checking inside the attic is the most precise option. Measure the rafter spacing, mark the first one on the roof, and then continue marking them across the array. Once the rafters are located, we can determine how far apart we can place our mounts vertically. Most residential installations use 4 to 6 feet between mounts. Deck-mounted installations may require mounts to be placed closer together for additional support. In areas with high winds or snow loads, spans may need to be reduced for extra stability. For more precise span calculations, the IronRidge design tools provide customized engineering reports based on your location, ensuring your system meets local requirements while minimizing unnecessary roof penetrations. All right, let's talk about these hug mounts. These are designed to sit directly on the shingle without prying anything up, which makes for a fast and easy installation. The bottom of the hug has an ultra grip pad that sticks to the shingles, helping keep everything in place while you install the screws. When you're placing these, aim for the flat part of the shingle. Don't put them right over a keyway or butt joint because that could create a weak spot. If you can't avoid it, just use a little sealant to fill in the area above the mount before installing. Now we're going to secure the hug mount. Ideally, we're attaching these directly into the rafters because that gives us the strongest support. If that's the case for you, you'll drive in 2 structural screws, 1 in each of the pre-drilled center holes for horizontal rails, or 2 on one side if you're running vertical rails. Make sure you tighten them down until the washers are fully compressed. That ensures a strong, weather-sealed connection. Now we're going to drive in 2 structural screws. If your rails are running horizontally, use the center holes. If your rails are running vertically, use 2 holes on one side. Either way, make sure the washers on those screws are fully compressed. That tells you they're properly sealed. Now, sometimes you might miss the rafter on the first try. It happens. If you do, no big deal, just move to the next hole and try again. Once you get a solid bite into the rafter, drive in a 3rd screw in the corresponding hole to complete the installation. But here's a key tip. Don't remove any screws that miss the rafter. Just leave them in place and move on. IronRidge designed the hug for deck mounting too. Instead of 2 screws, we'll be using 6 RD structural screws, and we'll drive them in an alternating pattern to distribute the load evenly. This is super important because it ensures that the hug mount stays secure even without rafter support. One quick tip here. If more than 3 of these screws strip out during installation, don't remove them. Instead, leave them in place and install an additional hug mount within the correct spacing for your project. This will keep everything secure while following IronRidge's engineering guidelines. All right, let's say you placed a hug mount but need to remove or relocate it. You don't just yank it off. You want to slowly pull it at an angle to help prevent that ultra grip pad from separating from the mount. If it does stick to the roof, grab a putty knife to scrape it off. If it's really stuck, you can use a heat gun to loosen it up. One thing you don't want to skip is sealing up any old screw holes. Use a roofing manufacturer-approved sealant to fill them and then apply a piece of 12-inch by 6-inch card flashing under the shingle to keep the roof watertight. If you've got spare roofing granules, sprinkle them over the sealant to help it blend in. Now, one thing you may want to think through before you actually secure all of your hug mounts is how to optimize your setup. So before securing your hug mounts, you may want to make some final adjustments based on rafter alignment or span spacing or cantilever limits. Let's talk about what this means. Cantilever is the distance from the edge of the array to the nearest attachment point, and it cannot exceed 40% of the allowable span. For example, if our span is 5 feet, our cantilever should not exceed 2 feet. To ensure proper placement, double check that mounts align with rafters for maximum strength. Adjust spacing as needed to stay within allowable span and cantilever limits. Taking a few extra minutes here means fewer roof penetrations, better weight distribution, and a structurally optimized installation. Now, at Signature Solar, we ship each of our hug mounts with 6 RD structural screws, already prepared for deck mounting as you've seen us do. This allows you to mount yours securely anywhere in the decking that is at least 7/16 inch thick, ensuring a structurally sound installation even when rafter alignment isn't possible. When deck mounting, insert the screws in an alternating pattern, making sure each one is fully compressed against the EPDM washer to ensure a tight, weatherproof seal. With our hug mounts secured, we're ready to attach the XR100 rails. These slide directly onto the mounts and are secured with rail attachment bolts, which should be torqued to 225 inch-pounds. For longer rows, we'll use the IronRidge Boss splice to connect rail sections. This is a bonded connection, meaning it maintains electrical continuity without needing extra grounding hardware. Once the rails are fully secured, we're ready to mount our panels. Now for the fun part, getting the panels mounted. Start with the first panel at the end of the array. You'll use an EFO end clamp on both rails to hold it in place. For every panel after that, we're going to use the UFO clamps between them. These aren't just holding the panels in place, they're also creating a bonded connection, which means we're reducing the number of grounding wires we need. Just slide the UFOs in, get your next panel in place, and torque everything down to 80 inch-pounds. If you're wondering how tight that is, it's snug, but not over-tightened. Before we call this job done, we need to make sure everything is grounded. That's where the grounding lug comes in. We'll attach it to the rail, top or bottom, torque to 80 inch-pounds, and run a 10-gauge copper wire to complete the grounding path, tightening the terminal screw to 20 inch-pounds. And for the finishing touch, snap on the end caps. This helps keep debris out of the rails and gives the system a clean, professional look. And that's it. We've fully installed the IronRidge XR100 rails using the hug mount, creating a strong, reliable foundation for a long-lasting solar system. If you found this video helpful, be sure to subscribe and follow us on Facebook at Signature Solar US for more installation tips and product overviews. Want to find out more about the IronRidge racking solution? Check it out at signaturesolar.com. I'm Kelly with Signature Solar, empowering you to own your own power. We'll see you next time.